Ryan here playing Farming Simulator 22, and welcome back to the Upper Mississippi River Valley. Since last episode, we skipped through a couple of months here. We're now into the month of October 1st, that is here. I'm currently taking our John Deere 8R340 here back to the farm here. Again, this is our weeding, or well, just the weeder here, not necessarily the weeding tractor, although I think that's mainly the job this tractor's done, although it's got 60 hours on it. Maybe not. Maybe this tractor's done more than what I realized. Anyway, got a lot of hours on this tractor here, apparently. So yeah, heading back to the farm. Evan just finished skipping our October 1st, and I think that means we got some crops ready to harvest. Evan, looks like the sunflowers are ready. We'll have to confirm that on the map here. And if I'm not mistaken, looks like we got some corn that is ready to harvest here as well. Now, of course, the soybeans we planted here last, well, actually, we really wasn't last episode before, I guess, right? Those, of course, are not ready to harvest here yet. And as long as we don't have a calendar problem like we had last year, although that was kind of a good thing, we'll probably be a couple more months before we can harvest the double crop soybeans yet. If you remember the first time we did the double crop soybeans, Evan, we had to wait till, I think it was December to harvest them. And things got a little snowy and hairy, and yeah, things got interesting with that one, right? So we'll see how that goes here. Oh, I got all my equipment sitting there yet, too. I forgot about that. Oh, well. I was happy when I fast-forwarded time, and I noticed I didn't miss any weeds or anything like that on the field, so that was, like, good. I was a little bit concerned, like, did I get all the weeds as far as weeds and planted? And it's like, yep, we got everything planted and weed-free and rolled and all that good fancy stuff, right? So we're good on that front. Anyway, let's go. We'll put this away one. We'll go grab some combines here, and I think we're just going to start with the first field right in front of us there. 44, 45, something like that. I forget the number on that one. 44, yes, field 44. Cornfield, we're just going to work our way down here. Again, as a reminder, when we're done with the harvest here this year in the game, I do plan on wrapping this series up. So, I don't know, another week, maybe 2 weeks. I'm not sure how long it's going to take us to harvest that one. Try not to drag it out here too much, but at the same time, too, I mean, it's harvest time, right? So, we'll just park that tractor there, and let's go grab a combine here. Autosave in progress, huh? Autosaving. Ah, yes, the John Deere X9 1100 here. Looks like someone gave it a bath here. Wow. That's impressive. 74 hours on this combine. Cool. And we might as well grab a header while we're here as well. Oh, the clean header, the dirty head. We got a clean combine. We got to put the clean head on the clean combine, right? I think the other combine's actually dirty, so that actually work out pretty good. I'll have to drive down here and get it, though, I guess. Probably won't bother getting the second combine out here this episode of one. Just heading to field 44 there. One combine will be more than sufficient for that field. Anyway, and yeah, you can tell these headers are a little heavy on this combine. Yes, and I forget where they were, but missing the post that used to be here. Yeah, where were they? They were in here somewhere, I think. And I say post, actually, they're more, was it brick and block corner posts beside the road there? Yes, should have removed those a long time ago. That has been nice with those being gone. Don't have to worry about driving down the road anymore with wider equipment. Of which we definitely have a few pieces that are wider nowadays, right? Oh, and I was trying not to knock over the sign, Evan. Ah, well. That's what the road commission gets for putting the sign so close to the road like that. Oh, I suppose we probably should pull out the combine, too, while we're at it. Getting ready to harvest 24 rows of corn at a time, Robin. A little bit of an odd number, as I've discussed before here with 20 rows. Again, I do actually have the 24. Yeah, it's sitting right there. 24-row corn header. Let's turn that off here. We don't need any straw. Or, well, not really. Yeah, corn fodder, I guess. What's really called here in this case, typically. But, yeah, we do have the 24-row header there. But as I've said before, back when we started this series, Evan, Horseplay does not seem to really appreciate that header, at least with the length of pipe that is available on these combines. If we had just a little bit longer pipe, we might be okay, but not quite long enough here for Horseplay's suiting. So dropping it down to the 20 row, so 2 less rows on each side, seems to do the trick. I mean, 2 less rows each side. I mean, that's what, 5 foot each side. So, right? Am I doing the math right? 30 inches. Yeah, times 2, so 60, 5 feet. And then, again, 5 feet on each side. So you're just dropping 4 rows on, 10 less feet. Wow. At least we're harvesting more than 12 rows at a time here. I mean, come on. It's the John Deere X9 1100. You need a bigger head than a 12 row on this combine, don't you? And something I've always said before, too, Evan, when it comes to the combines and the header size, it doesn't apply so much in the game here because the game is pretty much just one set speed, 6 miles an hour, unless some mod author has something that's set a little bit different. But typically, in-game stuff, it's all 6 miles an hour, right? But in real life, Evan, when it comes to your header size and your combine size, within reason, you can typically put whatever size header you want on your combine, depending on how fast you want to drive. So maybe you have a little bit smaller combine. Sure, you could put a bigger, 12-row corn head on that combine, at least if there's one available that'll fit it anyway. But then you'll probably just have to drive a little bit slower, instead of maybe going like 6 miles an hour like we are here. Maybe you'll have to go 3 or 2, which, again, typically a lot of times I like to drive faster rather than slower, right? So go with a little bit smaller head. Maybe your combine, put an 8-row head on it instead of the 12-row and drive faster. Although, again, John Deere X9 1100, I mean, come on, that shouldn't be a problem with this combine, right? This combine's supposed to eat corn for breakfast, and lunch, and supper. And don't forget the midnight snack. Oh, let's pop open this map here, too, see how we're yielding here so far. Yeah, looks like about the same as last harvest. So I believe we got most of our fields, maybe not quite all of them, but we got some of our fields mulched here this time around. And I don't remember if we rolled. I don't know if I rolled all the fields. I have my doubts if I rolled the corn field here. I know we rolled some of the fields, but again, I don't think I rolled all of them, Evan, so we're probably not looking at maximum yield here. But again, rolling, mulching, 1% each one. Pretty minuscule, Evan. As I've said before, you're better off like going and getting all the missing spots, which I must have done this field, Evan, because I don't see any missing spots on it. You can see like 45 there. Yeah, apparently I had hired worker course play do that field. You don't see any missing spots down here, so I'm guessing I must have planted this field then, Evan. It's always kind of like the telltale sign. What field did I do versus what field did I have course play or hired worker do, right? Just look for the missing spots. Not to say I don't miss some spots sometimes, but I usually maybe have a small level of OCD when it comes to that. Maybe slightly. Again, I will occasionally miss some spots. I'm just, not going back to get them, but... Okay, speaking of going back to get them, we better go back and get ourselves a grain cart here, which probably means we need some tractors. Nope, never mind. Tractors are already on the grain cart. It's kind of a small grain cart one. But if I take the larger one, then I got to drive the ugly green tractor. Pretty John Deere 8RX with smaller grain cart, or nasty tractor with bigger grain cart. I suppose we'll take it's corn. We'll probably want the bigger grain. Actually, you know what? No, change my mind. Want this tractor. This tractor actually works out pretty good with this grain cart because it's a nice even 2 unloads, if I remember correctly. So that's not so bad. Technically, you can only fit 2 loads in that grain cart as well, so it's 2.5, which I suppose is a little bit better, but it's 2.5, right? It's kind of annoying, right? This one, if I remember correctly, is like 2 full loads, and I think there's like just a little bit of space left over, so it's almost perfect. We'll be running this corn up to the dryer here, of course, by the way. Probably have to look and maybe get some more propane hauled out this way, or just buy it too, I guess. Yeah, we'll see how it goes here. I think I tested that last time. I don't remember what my results were, but is it cheaper to buy the propane? Like, go and buy the propane? Or is it cheaper to just buy the propane? If that makes sense. You know, rather than driving all the way to town to buy it versus just buying it right in the menu, you can just, you know, buy it right there. Just fill it up. Which one's cheaper? Wouldn't surprise me with the way Giants does their economics. If actually just like buying it straight from the menu is cheaper. Although you never know. Like I said, Giants and their economics are questionable at best. Just like how buying bulk products costs you, 2.5 times as much, right? Like, okay, then that doesn't seem quite right. Open and cover. Should almost be. Yeah, there's the combine. Get the field open up here. Oh, there we go. That's right. It's the other key to open the cover on this one. I always forget that one. Still kind of annoying, yeah, if you ask me, that they have all different keys for that. I still don't understand why that's a thing. Like, why is it the N key on some of them and then the Z key on others? Hey, at least the combine stayed running, though. And that's a very valid complaint in some cases, everyone. And while we're unloading, just as a reminder, if you folks haven't already clicked the subscribe button, don't forget to do so. Make sure you're subscribed for all the upcoming harvest episodes coming up here. And then again, make sure you stay subscribed here for what will hopefully be the next series here once we are done with harvest here on this map. Again, my plan is to do like just maybe a small, I don't know how many episodes, we'll see what you folks think here as well, but we'll at least do a small anniversary series on Westbridge Hills. I think that'll be a bit of fun. Maybe see what we can round up for some of the equipment we used back in the day on that map as well. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to have to go back and look at one, but I think I used a red combine on that map. I know, gasp and horror, right? It was probably a red combine. We didn't have near like the John Deere equipment like we have nowadays. Farming Simulator 2013, right? We had to rely on modders for all the John Deere equipment back then, because John Deere was not part of the game back then. That wasn't until Farming Simulator, was that 19? That was 19, right, everyone? I believe that was Farming Sim 19, if I remember correctly. It was finally when John Deere joined the Farming Simulator franchise. And a bit of a controversy behind that one, too, if I remember correctly, Evan. Because if I remember correctly, I think Farming Simulator 19 was kind of supposed to be like the Kloss one. Like every time Farming Simulator releases a new version of Farming Simulator, there's usually like a highlighted tractor brand, right, Evan? And if I remember correctly, Farming Simulator 19 was the John Deere one. However, before John Deere joined, it was supposed to, I think, be on the Kloss tractors, kind of the Kloss brand. It was supposed to be Farming Simulator 19. Now, of course, it still ended up doing that because we had the DLC, right? But I do believe John Deere kind of stole their thunder on that one when John Deere joined, and yeah, they kind of pivoted over to John Deere. In fact, you can even kind of like see it in some of the first like introductory videos of it, where they kind of have like everything shaded and you can't really tell. But if you like look at the shapes, you can like, okay, yeah, that's a Kloss tractor. They got some rather unique shapes on their tractors, right? But then once the actual official videos actually released, it was a change to a John Deere tractor. Like, interesting, right? Yeah, going back to that whole thing about Westbridge Hills again. When like I said, I believe we had kind of some of that red equipment. I know, terrible, terrible. Oh well, what are you gonna do, right? They say you can farm with the red stuff. We'll find out. Oh, I like picking on my red tractors, don't I? Oh boy, I can see the comments now. All the red tractor owners are furiously pounding their keyboards here at this point. I think they're just jealous of the green stuff. I think that's what it is, right? anyway, yeah, like I said, going back to, we'll hopefully do a little short series, anniversary series there on West Bridge Hills, everyone. And then I'm not entirely sure what map we'll go to after that. We'll have to kind of figure that out then. I had a map in mind after I was done with this series. I think we're potentially looking at maybe doing that one on the multiplayer server, so I'm not sure if I'll do that one single player here or not. But if we don't do a multiplayer, then I might go back and it's a little bit of an older map here at this point now. It's obviously been out for a while, and there are some newer maps that have been out here too I wouldn't mind checking out. So yeah, lots of good maps to choose from here at this point, if you ask me. One, you know, we're what, 2 years into Farming Simulator, and that is something I've always said before. But it seems like when it comes to the Farming Simulator series, like you get 2 years into the series, and boy, you start really getting some good mods, and then boom, there's the new version. Of course, the last Farming Sim in 19, and then of course Farming Sim in 22 here so far. And I'm not sure when Giants is going to release the next one, but the last one they did 3 years in between. We got a really good selection of mods going there. And then, well, yeah, we don't know who Farming Sim in 22. Are they going to keep Farming Simulator 22 going for a little bit, or are they going to release a new version here maybe next year? Don't know, man. Don't know. We'll have to wait and see, I guess, right? I mean, I don't know about you folks. I think if I was Giants, probably just keep cranking out the DLCs, right? Seems like that's kind of the way a lot of games are going nowadays. You know, you got your base game and then sell all kinds of DLCs with it. A big one for that, another game I like to play every so often, American Truck and Euro Truck Simulator. Yeah, especially the American Truck Simulator one. They are really bad for that. Just because they're doing a DLC for essentially every state, which to some extent I understand, everyone. But at the same time, oh my goodness. You know, how long is it going to take them before they get all the way across the country here with states with that game? And how much is that going to cost you if you want to buy the entire, like all the DLCs for? Like, oh my goodness, I would have to have a second job just to pay for that. That, I don't know, that game might have worn out its welcome on that one, and we'll have to see how it goes here. You know, we start getting towards the Midwest. They're kind of to the Midwest here, I guess, already, Evan, but yeah, once they start getting more east of the Midwest there, yeah. Let's see if they keep going at the rate they're going here. Okay, almost back to where we started. I haven't had to unload twice here, so actually speaking of unloading twice, real quick here. Yep, like I said, almost full. Not quite, not quite. So holds a nice two loads there, if you ask me. Hold on, I'll take care of that here in a few minutes. New truck over here. Like seeing some sort of weird graphical glitch here. Yeah, what is up with that? Like I see. Oh, okay, maybe it's a stalk of corn that's like getting. Okay, that's what that is. I'm trying to figure out what's this flashing going on over here. A stalk of corn, which if you're at the right angle, every so often it like sticks out that way. Yep, there it goes. Okay, not sure why it's doing that. Whatever. Nothing serious, I guess. I'll say it is kind of fun to see the combine eat 20 rows of corn at a time. Pretty impressive, even in the game. go. And you know what? Maybe before we continue any further, let's go grab a truck, everyone. I will need to get that grain cart unloaded here. So let's see once I got all my trucks over here. Yes, we do. And we are in the red one from the looks of it. Kind of hard to tell sometimes when you got a bunch of equipment parked right next to each other. Which piece are you actually in? Oh. Maybe we don't want the red truck. I just noticed this. What is up with this? There is still wheat in this truck yet. Okay, then. There's not supposed to be wheat in this truck here, Auto Drive. No, not Central Farm Silo. We need to go to the upper Mississippi Rail Silo. And I know I had this all correct because I was watching for this last time because, yeah, Auto Drive likes to do stupid stuff like that. Really, Auto Drive? Okay, fine. I'll go grab the white truck then. Actually, no, I probably should do. Better idea. Let's go grab the other red truck because it's parked on the grain dryer here. I need to get that truck off of this here. Oh, you got dry corn in you yet? Okay. Can I unload this in here? Excellent. I mean, it holds dry corn, but just because it holds dry corn up, it doesn't mean the game's going to let you put the dry corn back in, right? I always thought that was rather amusing and weird. Like, you take something out, it's like, okay, let's just pick dry corn, for example, here. You take dry corn out of the dryer. Can you put dry corn back in the dryer? Nope. Like, well, wait a minute. You hold dry corn, but I can't put, no, yeah. In this case, silo system, so I actually can, which is good, but there's stuff like that in the game that really makes you scratch your head, like, wait a minute, you hold it, but you can't put it, okay, weird. Yeah, we'll want this truck off that pit there, because we'll want to be unloading into that here in a minute. Or, wow, probably a few minutes. Got to fill the truck up here first, right? And let's grab the grain cart here. And by the way, when I don't have any plans on like selling the crop here once we are done with harvest, I don't know, we got quite a bit of money here already. So, I mean, if we take this much money with us to the next series, I've been like, oh my goodness. Although that might be kind of fun. I mean, like one of these times, Farming Simulator, just every time we start a new map, always take the money with us and just see how much money we have left by the time we get to the next version of Farming Simulator. That might be kind of fun. Might get a little easy though at some point because I mean, again, like this map I've won, we got $6 million there at this point. We might look at buying some equipment here for harvest. We'll see once we'll get to some of the bigger fields and maybe we can spend some of that money on like a larger grain cart here or something, just for the fun of it. You know what? I don't need to sit here and watch this. I can go continue harvesting. That would make the most sense, right? Back to harvesting. And while we're harvesting, let's see if we can read some comments here a moment as well. Ethan was saying, it's being found that moldboard plowing is really bad for the soil. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong in this. And when Ethan says really bad, I think it's got to do with compaction, doesn't it? It's really hard on making a hard pan along the bottom where that plow rides, everyone. It really packs the soil down there. I think that's what Ethan means when he says it's bad for the soil. At least I'm pretty sure that's what I've heard in the past anyway. Again, you folks can either confirm or deny what I just said there. I'm pretty sure that's what was the reason for moldboard plowing being bad for the soil. And for those who are not familiar with the hard pan is kind of that layer underneath your normal tillage. So, you know, year after year working in the field oven, yeah, a lot of times, and driving across the field, of course, you'll develop that hard pan, which is the bottom of your tillage. So, cultivating, plowing, typically you're plowing, because your plowing is usually your deepest form of tillage, right? So at the bottom of that tillage layer, at the bottom of your plowing oven, you'll develop a hard pan. That hard pan is hard for roots and water and just to penetrate through it, right? It's basically like putting a pan underneath the dirt in the field. The roots can't get through it. The moisture can't get through it. It's not good. And that's where the deep ripping comes in. That one where a farmer will deep rip his field. You know, they're going down a long ways. You know, when we say long ways, like 16 inches or something, or maybe a little bit further sometimes. Usually pulling a couple of shank ripper. And when I say a couple of shanks, I mean like literally just a couple of shanks. And pulling it with a large tractor usually. Takes a lot of horsepower to pull those rippers. Yeah, they're going down deep and ripping up that hard pan. And usually all it takes, Evan, like a lot of times when you see the rippers, they're really not disturbing a whole lot of soil. The idea behind the rippers are they just kind of like lift the dirt up a little bit and like set it back down. And that process fractures the dirt, fractures the hard pan, right? And just kind of breaks everything up without actually like disturbing everything. And this can even happen too on like no-till fields, Evan. Just again, just driving across the field, you just create compaction and you want to break it up. Hetro was saying, good video, and my course play has been doing that red bracket thing too. What is that for? The red bracket thing, I believe Hetro was talking about there, I think that's just like showing you the width of the implement. That's all that is as far as I know. Doesn't really, to my knowledge, like serve any necessary useful purpose, and I never really use it, Evan. Although I guess if you're like setting offsets and stuff like that, then you can maybe know like, okay, yep, I do actually have my offset like go in the right direction. It's not like on the opposite side of the tractor or something like that. But typically for your center line applications, you know, this header here's center of the combine, right? You really don't need that. Ivan was saying, if you plow in the autumn, you prepare the soil for spring plant sowing, so there's much less weeds and you have to use less harmful chemicals. Of course, you can't destroy all the weeds, and that isn't the point. The point is to use less chemicals and have more healthy food and less soil destruction. I don't know. I'm not sure I 100% agree with your statement on that one there. Yeah, I don't know. And again, the reason I say this, I mean, I go back to the organic farmer. We kind of, was it last episode? I think it was last episode. We talked about that there a little bit. I go back to the organic farmer and I look at what they do, and it's like, yeah, they again, they mow more plowing, and the weeds in their field are some of the most impressive weeds that you folks have ever seen this side of the state. Actually, this side of the country. Well, actually, I know a couple of other organic farmers. We got a couple of organic farmers in the area, one. And I don't know, the organic farming just, well, it's a good thing it's not a normal thing, Evan, because there'd be a lot of starving people if every farmer was an organic farmer. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it'd be cool if we can make it work, everyone, which obviously they must be making it work somehow, I guess. But organic food is expensive, right? But yeah, if you look at the mess they have for fields, it's like, oh my goodness. Usually the best fields you see for weeds don't really have much to do with plowing and field work. I mean, again, you know, if you run your cultivator, plow, whatever it is across the field, yes, the weeds are going to be gone for a little bit, but then they're going to come back. Usually the best fields you see for weeds a lot of times are the no-till fields where chemical are used. Or maybe I should rephrase that. Minimal tillage field where chemicals are used. And of course chemicals, you know, herbicide, right? Kill the weeds. If you can keep the weeds under control, the weeds usually stay under control a little bit better, right? If the weeds get out of hand in the field, yeah, you can, again, I mean, you can till the field, but you know, a week later or a couple weeks later, you're probably not going to tell the difference. Now, if you go take that same field rather than tilling it, and you put a healthy dose of chemical on it, A couple months later, that field's, there's probably going to be a few weeds in it, right? But it's going to be looking a whole lot better than the tillage field will. So I would argue using tillage to control weeds, not the best, everyone. Not the best. It's more of maybe just a temporary, looks good at the moment, and that's as far as it goes. That's just my opinion, everyone. You folks are definitely more than welcome to argue that in the comments. I would be more than happy to, I don't know, maybe hard, but I find the whole topic interesting. Let's put it that way, everyone. I find the whole topic interesting on that, especially organic farming and weeds and controlling that and the herbicides and all that good stuff. Do I think it'd be great if we could use less herbicide and chemicals? Absolutely. But at the same time, I think eating is kind of important too. So, for those of you who maybe want to discuss that more too, you are definitely more than welcome to join us in on the multiplayer servers. And we get into some of these topics sometimes. Again, as I said a moment ago here, I find discussing some of that quite fascinating. So, yes, definitely, if you'd like to discuss more of that, Evan, hop on the multiplayer server, multiplayer live streams, and again, we cover those topics. You can find all that information down below in the description there, by the way. Multiplayer server information if you'd like to join us on there, or if you just, again, want to watch the multiplayer episodes, that is over on Twitch. Again, RDAllen on Twitch. Those are live streams, by the way, which you can, as far as I know, go back and watch the previous. For those who want to see more RDAllen content, I mean, RDAllen over on Twitch. You can catch the RDAllen live streams there. Just again, make sure you're following and or subscribed over there, and you get notified. And we are full. And speaking of being full of it, we're also full up on minutes here for this episode, so it is time to wrap it up here. You folks have any comments and or questions, be sure to leave them down below. And as always, Evan, thanks for watching. Until next time.